Ladies and gentlemen, I am Melvin Banks.
And this is Ito.
And we are the Carbonation Conversation, reviewing Paramount Plus Halo Episode 6.
Solace.
And before we get into this episode, as always, Happy New Beer. What are we drinking today?
We're drinking a Polish beer, Tajski. I think that's how it's pronounced.
All right. From, I'm assuming, established since 1629. I'm assuming that's what that date means on there.
Yes.
And as always, if you like what you hear, don't forget to ring that bell, subscribe, comment, and always like our page and all that good stuff.
Yes.
So, last time we checked in this episode, the previous episode left off with Chief pretty much getting his ass whooped by the Brute and the, I guess we can call it now, Keystone, was taken. Artifact Keystone.
Yep.
And so this opens up with pretty much Master Chief getting flashbacks between him and like Halsey and shit. And he's just sitting down, you know, you see the background acting all weird, and all of a sudden he gets a hand put on him, and he's in the actual emergency room where they're trying to basically keep Kai alive. Right. She's screaming.
Because at the end of the last episode, that's when they shut down Master Chief, right?
Yes.
I guess he touched the Keystone, and that's when he realized the truth about Halsey.
Yeah.
And he tried to attack her.
And he was pissed.
So that's why he woke up. He's still pissed.
Yeah,
you know
dazed and confused and everything. And they're just jacking her, Kai, up with morphine shots. Yeah. Another one, Riz. One more. And I'm just like, bro, obviously she's a super soldier.
So she needs more.
You know,
exactly.
I was just like, holy shit. And basically, here we have Cortana basically saying, like, Master Chief, are you okay? He does not want to talk to her. And she's just like, you are unwell. You need to really go get checked out. At this point, he does talk to the captain. You know, he is pissed off. John is upset that he did get the artifact lost. You know, he does, I guess he does feel like it was worth it, but he's pissed that the artifact is lost.
Even Keys, right?
Yeah.
Even he is appreciative of John saving his life.
Yeah. And he said, man, you saved 150.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Is he calling him a Marine? I don't know if they use that word, but he said, you saved 150 lives basically out there. And they basically talk about McKee because, you know, we look and we see she's unconscious, repeating, I think the language is like saying wheelie, saying something like that, something along those lines.
Stragaboy?
Yeah, you said Stragaboy,
know, right?
like it's a Witcher and shit. But yeah, basically she's repeating these words, and all the captain knows is she says she was a prisoner. She's been with, obviously, the Covenant for a very long time.
Of course, they don't believe her right away.
Yeah, you know, exactly. And I have, at this point, Master Chief is really, really pissed. And he sees Halsey in her lab or whatever room she's in.
Still in the ship, because it's when they go back to the UNSC and everybody's basically leaving the ship. And basically it seems like all that's left is him and her.
Yes. And basically he reaches above and just destroys a piece of huge wire that basically locks Halsey in, and Cortana asks him what he is doing. And he tells a story about basically the engineer who looks like he made all the high-tech technology, especially the ships that they use today. I forget his name, but he recognized that every device needed a fail-safe just in case the AI got too smart. So if you needed to shut it down because it got out of control, he developed a fail-safe except for one thing. And I guess it was the room that they were in, and long story short, it basically seemed like it was either going to be radiation or poisonous gas seeped into Halsey, basically put into Halsey's room, and it was a countdown starting. And it really just seems like Master Chief, he just wants to know how far in control is he and Cortana. You know, he wants to test her limits. He's just basically like, make me open it, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
It's countdown going. Halsey's like, please help me. I'm like, man,
so
fuck you.
If she just shuts him down, that don't mean nothing because he has to be the one to open the door. She can't do that.
Yeah, and she basically says that. He pulls Halsey out just in the nick of time, and he says, next time I won't be there for you for whatever happens next. You got Cortana looking at Halsey looking at Cortana. It's just like, holy fucking shit. And then we have the meeting with the Admiral. And basically, I want to say, was it Mr. I don't want to say Mr. Hook's goons because they're literally, you know, they're each people. I know one of the other guys' names was Bota, and they were just having a conversation about 2 Spartans going off of a direct order. Okay. The other guy doesn't really seem to care about it, but I do like that the Admiral was like, well, that's because you never put on the uniform. Of course you don't care about Marine lives. John went to go save Marine lives, and they proceed to tell her that, hey, you're gonna be the scapegoat pretty much in this whole shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, she even goes like, somebody is putting these type of messages in the I forget what the guy's name is called. The white guy, the
Admiral.
Yeah, no, the one that's, is it Mr. Hook? I feel like it is Mr. Hook. Hood. Okay,
he's Admiral though.
Yeah. And she's just like, who's putting these ideas in his head to question our abilities? We've been, obviously, the Spartan program has been going on for years, and now since we had some problems, they want to obviously try to put me on the hot seat. So she definitely understands the game, and because she understands the game, she later basically just sets Halsey ass up. You know what I'm saying?
Right, as the scapegoat, basically.
Yeah.
Like you said.
And at this point, Master Chief finally has the time to interview Maki because she's awake.
Right.
And he is really, really just questioning everything. He's like, okay, they took the artifact, then they left you behind. Then we know that the Covenant don't keep prisoners, but they kept you. This shit just ain't adding up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? She does mention a particular planet that she thinks that the Covenant is on.
Basically, it tells her about a planet in somewhere in a place that
it's called the
exists.
Aspero. Yeah, right. It's called the Aspero star system, which I can only assume is a universe.
She also tells them too that repeated exposure to the artifact can kill humans, apparently, or at least make them sick.
And then she finds out that he is just like her.
Exactly.
And, he starts to get flashbacks. She's like, oh, you don't know? They didn't tell you? And then, he kind of storms off. He's not really John is not feeling well at all.
Yep.
At this point, we have the Halsey interrogation scene. And obviously, she starts to get questioned. But what we also see is the Admiral and the captain are spying, and it's so interesting how they're spying. Like, I was like, wow,
it's like they're listening, but it's like they're actually in the room.
Laying down with these things on their temples, and they're talking to each other. One could, I don't want to say telepathically because it's through technology and shit.
I mean, they're both in the system or whatever in that room, and they're talking to each other.
And the captain is very, very concerned about this interrogation. Admiral is hoping that Halsey is too smart for her own good, so she would get caught up. But we basically see that Miranda ends up coming in later. After John hears what McKee has to say, he bursts into the interrogation room. And he basically demands answers.
Oh, yeah. Well, he goes in there and basically takes over the interview before Miranda even gets there.
Yeah.
She comes in the middle of that.
Yeah. And he basically tells Halsey to confess. And this is the island / the fifth day / some fucked up ass shit that Halsey basically says what happened. Apparently, they've been Flash cloning motherfuckers since day one. Like,
so they've been kidnapping kids, flash cloning them, and they only survived for about 2 weeks or something like that.
yeah, and it was just basically like they got a heart attack or a stroke. The parents never knew, so they were able to get closure. And what's so crazy isn't Riz, Kai, and John Vanek the only 4 Spartans, period, out of all of those kids, with the exception of Soren? Is it making it look like, okay.
They were mentioned, but I would not say that they're only 4, no.
Okay, because my whole thing is like, whew, my whole thing, that's scary to me, because it's just like we obviously saw like hundreds. It looked like hundreds of kids in training, and then if only 4 of them survived out of like this whole entire group of kids and shit.
You would be surprised about that.
Oh no, I'm just saying it's even worse. Not only did they flash clone them for the kids to die, the kids
the fact that they
still
did that,
died.
They kidnapped and flash cloned.
Like it's over.
Just, after that, you're done. Like,
yeah, I guess.
You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
but man, to me, I was just thinking, my brain was running. I'm just like, man, that's even fucked up.
Turn
If it was only, man, I can't. But yeah, that's why I was just like, holy shit, that could be some really fucked up shit. Especially like, does the ends justify the means type of thing. And at this point, John is totally disgusted. He storms off, like you say, Miranda.
He even asked her if anybody else was involved, and she, even though Paragonsky and was the
Captain,
they both were in on it. You know what I mean? So, but she doesn't tell him that.
Yeah, and even since Miranda is in there looking at them, she can tell that they are implicated by the looks that they are giving each other when Halsey says, no, it was just me. She basically says something along the lines of, when you're in the war, motherfuckers don't ask questions. Right. Basically, they just want results. And unfortunately, that's fucking true.
And then John leaves the room, and Miranda sees him outside right after she saw what happened, and she felt like she wanted to comfort him, but instead he tells her to do something. Was it look for that planet?
Yeah, basically.
Right.
And this is when Cortana is trying to also speak to him.
He goes to a corner and looks like he's about to fucking pass out or something, and Cortana's like, "Get checked out."
And he basically tells her he's done with her. He tells her, go away and don't ever come back. And she's just like, what am I supposed to do? He's like, well, you can solve problems, help somebody in the fucking universe pretty much solve problems. And the captain is one of the best scenes I do like in here, when the captain was trying to find the Covenant ship. When after McKee told them about where to leave, it's like a 10-second scene. He's like, come on, people, I need it on my screen in 5 seconds. Come on, right now, I need to see it. I love that shit. I was like, man, the captain snapped. Okay. He's an asshole, but he snapped. At this point, I believe, if I am not wrong, this is where the Admiral puts Halsey in her place.
Basically,
go ahead.
Yeah, that's basically what it is. She's basically telling Halsey, you're done. Miranda's taking your spot. And we're putting you in some crib before you get taken out of here. And
Halsey is basically saying like, hey, do you not remember the threats I was going to make that I made, I think, the previous episode or the previous 2 episodes ago? And the Admiral goes, I don't think you will, because you like how this shit is going. You want the answers. And even though you're not a part of it, I doubt that you would burn all this shit to the ground. Exactly. So she's like, checkmate, bitch. Right. She even had motherfuckers come in behind her to escort her out like she was Xerxes or some shit.
Admiral Paragancy's first shout out.
I was actually going to say the same thing, because she was actually really, really good in this episode. Meanwhile, the captain still can't find the ship. Halsey's in her new place with Aiden.
Under house arrest.
Under house arrest. And she is really cool, calm, and collected, and she's just like, hey, did you get all the data that you needed to get? He's like, yeah, barely. And he's like, well, what about Cortana? And she's just like, I basically created her to find her way home, type of thing. Yeah. And Aiden is just like, no, I built that firewall for 30 years. And then basically, I fucking hate that guy.
Right.
He dies
Weird
by the
ass
end of this season. We also see Miranda getting settled in, and she looks like a kid in the candy store. Oh my God. You know, with the big cheesy smile and shit. And before she can log into something specific, it stops her, and it says, "See me."
See me. Yep.
Automatically, we already know who this is, and she goes to see her mother,
Halsey,
and. The confrontation that they have, I think, is extremely interesting because it, like you said, I guess, in this, she's already done killed kids. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So this was nothing. You know, she put on a show. Halsey put on a show, and
truth.
It was
maybe there was some truth to it too. Mm-hmm. But she's always gonna have her first agenda.
Yes. And
you know what I mean? So the main thing this was to get her voice recording.
Mm-hmm. And her, I mean? her eye thingamajiggy. She was scanning her retina, basically. And what I do like what Miranda said, and she's like, "So you are going to evolve humanity by losing your humanity?" I really did like that line, and I'm pretty sure the next couple of episodes, as it becomes very clear of Halsey's capabilities, that line is gonna stick, because it's like, is this really worth it when what's the cost? You know, like, goddamn, you worse than Magneto. At least Magneto was doing it for his people. like he had no problem wiping people out for his people, but you just want to be God, right. Halsey. Like, Jesus. Damn. And she says it. And Halsey is so polite with that fucking smirk on her face. I hate her. I hate her so much. And that accent. She's so good. She's so good.
I get it. No.
As Miranda is leaving, we do see Halsey's kind of like, you know, we got. Is there a slimmer? Is there a slimmer of emotion? No.
She teared up.
No.
That's what I'm saying. I felt like there was some truth to what she was saying.
Okay.
Even though it was a hidden agenda, her first priority behind it.
Yeah.
You know, but
fuck that.
Still,
fuck that. Fuck Halsey. But at this point, we have Miranda and John talking, and Miranda mentions your biological run-up, I guess you can say. Your DNA, your being is basically the same as Maki's. For whatever reason, it's the same. You guys gravitate to this artifact, don't know what the fuck is going on. So that prompts John to go back to Maki, and it's just like, look, like, we looking for this planet that she says, and she's like, Rasputa. She said something like that. I watched 3 of them today. I'm sorry. So I'm pretty sure that wasn't a word, but it was close. It was so funny. It was so funny because after I said, I was like, man, it really sounded like that. But he is just basically like interrogating her, and she's just like, it's there. He's like, it's not there. He hits the wall, immediately goes down. And she goes, it's killing you. You touching the artifact is actually killing you. What I have learned from what the High Chiefs or the Covenant, when they were trying to force this thing up on me, they were just telling me to let go, let it come in, just go with the flow, and then you will be good, basically. And so then I feel like in this scene, she also tries to play him too. So she's like, take me where that artifact is. So we can find this part. She was like, you know what I'm saying? She was definitely getting it in there. And then basically, after this scene, we have, after this scene, Cortana does meet with Halsey again, and
she finally shows up at Halsey's spot, find her way home or whatever.
And now basically Halsey has a way to still spy and see everything basically that's going on. At this point, John wants to do the test. He wants to touch the artifact again. Miranda is very, very concerned because he's already not well, and since he touched it the last time, that's what it seems to be killing him. So she is extremely concerned, but she goes along with it. She even says, my first fucking week and I'm already breaking like 85 laws. I love that line. And We see John go through the process again. We see Maki go into like a seizure because she's in the room asking. She's like, "Where's John? Tell him I need to see John. Where's John?" And you know the black officer racist as hell. I love how they do that and shit. They be putting black people in like racist ass situations against like monsters. It should be hilarious when I be thinking of. And he's just like, "Shut up, Squidhead," knocks her down and she starts convulsing, and then boom, they're on this planet.
They're on Halo.
Yes. Is Halo the planet or the ring?
Was the ring, but it's a planet.
Okay. So I was just wondering if the planet,
yeah.
I was wondering if the planet itself was called a Halo, and then the ring was just on it. Okay.
It's part of it.
And I'm just, and I love the sound. I love the cinematography in the background. You're all looking around, Maki, and they're looking at each other, and it seems like they're having a moment. They're just looking at each other. I guess they're kind of touching each other because they can't believe they're in this world. So they're just like, "Is this real? Can let me touch you? Because I was just in the other fucking room with you." I am assuming that's how they're going, but it does seem like they are, I guess I want to say, spiritually connected. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Because, yeah, that's all I can really say.
The same make or whatever.
Yeah, it's something going on. And doesn't it end like that?
I think that's basically.
Yeah, and so the planet looks beautiful. The ring, man, in the sky. I liked how you could barely see it and kind of see it once it kind of like reached the middle. I thought that shit was pretty cool as hell. I've only seen one other adaptation of the Halo ring from that Halo series I mentioned earlier talking to you about. But yeah, man. I'm enjoying it. I think this is probably the first series that we've reviewed that I have not listened to a review at all. So I really don't know what's going on with the fans and how they feel about it, other than what you have been telling me about the action. A lot of people didn't really like it, I guess. But yeah, this is the only one where I'm just gonna write and talk because I don't want to, search something and then be like, fucking spoiled. But anyways, that is pretty much it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us. I am Melvin Banks.
And this is Ito.
And we are the Carbonation Conversation. Once again, and as always, if you like what you're hearing, you like the audio editing, well, you're not going to like the what? You're going to like that, but you're not going to hear that, I guess. Don't ever hesitate to contact MoBeat89 in the description below and on all platforms if you want to see his work. And as always, if you want to hit him up directly, just put an @Gmail at the end of that, MoBeats89. Don't drink and drive.
Drink and vibe.